Lilongwe, and from all the St. Manford bookshops across the country in Kasungu, Lilongwe, Salima, Dedza, Balaka, Zomba, Mulanje, Blantyre, Chikwawa, Mwanza, and Mangochi. For more information, contact 0883 815 055 or 0996 892 965. Get a Zuku decoder today and not miss daily mass, worship and prayers, news bulletins, and so much more on Luntha TV, bringing wisdom into your home.
Hello and thank you for joining us for our news bulletin. My name is Tandi Wemzamara. First, the headlines. Pope Leo XIV discusses Gaza and two-state solution with the Israeli president. Malawi National Examinations Board MANEB records improved pass rate in 2025 Malawi School Certificate of Education exams. Internal dispute erupts as some Oja Zake Alibe Mlandu Ozam party members shift allegiance to Jaguara. And in this week's special report, Patrick Pupa explores the recent surge in support of violence at football stadiums, highlighting the penalties and fines issued by the Super League of Malawi in a bid to curb such conduct. We do have the details to these stories and more to stay with us. Pope Leo XIV discussed the conflict in Gaza, including a two-state solution with Israel President Isaac Herzog in a private audience at the Vatican on Thursday morning. According to a Vatican statement after the meeting, the talks focused on the political and social situation in the Middle East and the need to guarantee a future for the Palestinian people and peace and stability in the region, with the Holy See reiterating the two-state solution as the only way out of the ongoing war. The Israeli president also met with Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin and Vatican Secretary for Relations with States Archbishop Paul Gallagher. We have more details on this report read by Patrick Pupa.
The September 4 Vatican audience was the first closed-door meeting between Pope Leo and Herzog 64, who has been Israel president since 2021. In a post on X following the encounter, Herzog thanked Leo for a warm welcome today at the Vatican and said he looked forward to strengthening Israel cooperation with the Holy See for a better future of justice and compassion. The Vatican communique on Leo's meeting with Herzog, a longer and much more detailed statement than those usually issued after audiences with heads of state, repeated Pope Leo's regular public pleas for a resumption of negotiations, a permanent ceasefire, the release of Israel hostages, respect for humanitarian law, and the safe entry of aid into Gaza. The Vatican said the hope was also expressed that the legitimate aspirations of both Israel and Palestinian people can be guaranteed. In addition to a two-state solution for Palestine, Vatican diplomacy has called on international status for the City of Jerusalem, where the Latin Patriarch Cardinal Pierbattista Pizzaballa is the Catholic leader of not only Israel, but also the Palestinian territories of Gaza and the West Bank. Thursday's conversation between Pope Leo and Herzog also touched on the importance of ensuring the continued presence of Christian communities throughout the Middle East, the Vatican said. After the talks, a statement from the Herzog said the Pope's reception of Israel's president reflected the great significance of the relationship between the Holy See and the State of Israel, and of course, with the Jewish people, and the importance of the very sensitive issues and challenges we experience today.
With only 10 days remaining before Malawi's September 2025 general elections, the Catholic faithful have been called upon to reflect on their faith and seek divine guidance in choosing leaders who put the people's welfare first. Patrick Lipava, chairperson of the Laity Council in the Archdiocese of Lilongwe, stressed the need to elect leaders committed to advancing the nation's development. We have more details on this report filed by Emmanuel Shuocha.
The Catholic Church in Malawi is encouraging the faithful to participate actively in the electoral process. In an interview, Lipava says the September 16 election presents an opportunity for the Catholics to reflect on their vote and choose leaders who will serve the nation selflessly. This call to action comes as political parties campaign across all 28 districts, with tension rising as Malawians anticipate the election outcome. The Church stance emphasize the need for voters to prioritize candidates with a track record of integrity, courage, and selflessness. In line with this, the Malawi Conference of Catholic Bishops has urged voters to elect leaders based on merits rather than superficial attributes or connections. They stress that citizens should elect leaders who embody virtues that align with the Church teachings. As the country celebrates the Jubilee year under the theme Pilgrims of Hope, Catholics are reminded to deepen their faith and seek guidance in making informed decisions. The bishops encouraged voters to look out to leaders who promote the common good, reinforce rule of law, and protect the dignity of all citizens. For Luntha News, in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Chuocha.
The Malawi National Examinations Board Managed Executive Director Professor Dorothy Namboda has expressed satisfaction with this year's Malawi School Certificate of Education MSCE results, noting an increase in the pass rate from 54.7% in 2024 to 58.4% in 2025. Announcing the results in Lilongwe alongside the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, Professor Namboda said a total of 194,584 candidates sat for the examinations, with 113,708 successfully passing. We have more details in this report filed by Bridget Manoga.
According to Namboda, there is no student who has scored 6 points in this year's Malawi School Certificate of Education examinations. However, she said 6 candidates have scored 7 points, while 13 others managed 8 points. Professor Namboda also revealed that some schools registered a 0 pass rate. Among them are Chiunde Community Secondary School, Tsogolo Private School, Hillside, Namikande, and Love of God Private School.
We can commend the ministry because there's been an improvement in the results of private examinations compared to last year. So generally across the board, if you talk about gender, whether males and females, they have improved in performance. If you talk about category of special needs education candidates, they have also improved in their performance. And even the different categories of students that we have, there's been a registered slight improvement across the board.
Principal Secretary for Basic and Secondary Education, Dr. Rachel Chimbwete Piri, says that the ministry has welcomed the improved MSCE pass rate, describing it as a positive sign for the sector, but has also expressed concern over schools that recorded 0 pass rates. She said they will work closely with education managers and teachers to address these gaps while reaffirming its commitment to improving quality and equity in education nationwide.
As a ministry, indeed we are very excited about these results, especially that we have noted a significant increase in the overall performance. An increase that is 58.44%, which is the highest in the 5-year range of period where we are talking about our strides in making sure that we are increasing quality education.
Meanwhile, Dedza district has produced the highest number of students who passed, followed by Kalonga, Mzuzu City, Mzimba, and Chitipa. Zomba Urban, Chiladzulu, Nkata Bay, Dowa, and Balaka complete the list of the top 10 performing districts. This year, a total of 194,584 candidates sat for the MSc examinations, with 113,708 making the pass rate. Bridget Manoka, Luntha News.
Tensions have surfaced within the Ojazake Aribe Mlando Ozam party, with some ward councillors and parliamentary candidates accusing party leader Dr. Michael Usi of failing to support them in their campaigns. At a press conference in Lilongwe earlier today, party member Bile Malata claimed that the councillors and members of parliament under the party's ticket have now endorsed President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera. However, in response, the party's Secretary General Happy Gondoe dismissed the claims, stating that Malata and his associates are not members of the party. Robert Edward has more details in this report.
Some members of the Ojazake Aribe Mlando party will be supporting the Malawi Congress Party President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, despite them competing for parliamentary and local government seats in Ojazake Aribe Mlando regalia. This is because the candidates have endorsed the incumbent president at a press conference in Lilongwe, citing failure of their party leader Dr. Michael Usi to help them campaign, among others. The ward councillors and MP aspirants, led by one Bile Malata, have to the effect described the corruption in government sentiments made by Usi as a mere sign of anger for being left out as a running mate for President Dr. Lazarus Chakwera.
Dr. Lazarus Chakwera is a leader who accommodates everyone, whilst Dr. Michael Usi is lacking leadership. He cannot even accommodate the few of us, like 20 MPs and 77 councillors. Is failing even to meet them. Then we have at least a link between the vice president and the president. We have seen that there is leadership in the president than in the state vice president.
However, Ojazake Aribe Mlando Party Secretary General Happy Gondoe has distanced the party from Malata's sentiments, saying they are not of the party. Malata, on the other hand, has warned that there will be more people talking ills of the vice president. He insisted that their main concern is Usi's alleged lack of leadership. For Luntha, this is Robert Edward.
The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) has received a second batch of ballot papers for the September 16th, covering both ward councillors and presidential candidates. MEC Chairperson Justice Salambe Mtalimanja confirmed that a total of 260 pallets of presidential ballots and 14 pallets for local government elections have arrived in the country. Speaking with Luntha TV, UTM Director of Elections Bright Kawaga expressed satisfaction and confidence in the electoral process, saying the party is happy that ballot papers have arrived and is ready for the September 16 polls, expressing the optimism that officials overseeing the process will handle it properly, since the printing and delivery have been smooth and without challenges. Gift Kalonga has more details in this report.
Speaking at Kamuzu International Airport in Lilongwe, MEC Chairperson Justice Anna Berontani-Manja explained that dispatch of materials would be on September 9th, with all polling stations expected to have their consignments by 15th. A pre-checking exercise involving MEC officers and stakeholders will be conducted a day before polling to ensure readiness.
Yeah, so today we are receiving presidential ballots, and also part of the local government elections, with the plane that has arrived about an hour or so ago.
United Transformation Movement UTM Director of Elections, Bright Kawaga, welcomed the development, expressing satisfaction with MEC's progress. He said the party is ready for the elections and confident that the process will be handled transparently.
As a party, we're also the main stakeholders in this election. We are happy that finally the ballot papers are here. As probably maybe the MEC chair has alluded to, we have received the first batch of the presidential ballot papers today, and we expect that the last batch we're also going to receive them today by around 3. And as a party, we are ready come 16th September to contest in these elections.
Both MEC and political stakeholders have assured the public that there have been no major challenges in the process apart from minor delays, with confidence high that all preparations remain on schedule for the September 16th elections. For Luntha News, this is Gift Kalonga.
If you're just joining us, know that you're watching news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center, and today you're with me, Tandy Wimzamara. Before we proceed, let's have another look at the headlines. Pope Leo XIV discusses Gaza and two-state solution with the Israeli president. Malawi National Examinations Board MANEB records improved pass rate in 2025 Malawi School Certificate of Education exams. Internal dispute erupts as some Oja Zake Alibe Mlandu Ozam party members shift allegiance to Jaguara. And in this week's special report, Patrick Pupa explores the recent surge in support of violence at football stadiums, highlighting the penalties and fines issued by the Super League of Malawi in a bid to curb such conduct. Proceeding with the news, Women's Legal Resources Center Warwick Executive Director Maggie Gatwela Banda has expressed optimism over an increase in women's representation in Parliament in the forthcoming elections, citing renewed interest and commitment from political stakeholders to uphold Women's Manifesto. In an interview with Luntha Television, Banda said she is pleased with the growing engagement from presidential candidates and political parties who have shown willingness to integrate the aspirations of Malawian women into their policy platforms. Charity Shilanga has more details on this report.
Banda described the political party's response following the presentation of the Women's Manifesto as a crucial milestone towards achieving gender equality and strengthening accountability in the country's democratic processes. She stated that the second edition of the Women's Manifesto addresses 15 thematic areas, laying out clear expectations and demand across politics, economics, health, education, governance, among others. According to Banda, the manifesto serves as a strategic roadmap for promoting women's empowerment and must be taken seriously by all duty bearers. She added that the current wave of political goodwill provides a strong foundation for boosting the number of women elected to parliament, if backed by consistent action and public support.
On 5 major matters, of course, we are wanted to reach out to 6, but in the end, 5 out of 6 countries responded to our request for remission. So we made the president, Professor Belongi, was the president of the institute, so we made this commitment to have the women's manifesto on this part.
Banda further urged stakeholders to maintain momentum, collaborate effectively, and monitor commitments to ensure that political pledges translate into tangible progress for Malawian women. She noted that while transformation is a process, the country is on the right track, working in unison with the government, civil society, and women across Malawi to make meaningful strides.
The Malawi Prison Service says it has made significant progress in embedding restorative justice and peace building within the correctional system over the past 3 years. According to Malawi Prison Service spokesperson Steve Mege, the first phase focused on strengthening internal structures, resulting in the establishment of restorative justice committees in all 29 prison stations across the country and the training of over 2,000 prison officers. We have more details in this report filed by Judith Organ and read in our studios by Emmanuel Shuocha.
Meke said one of the biggest achievements has been the integration of restorative justice and peace building as a module in the prison training school curriculum. This ensures that the new recruits understand the principles from the outset and apply them effectively in their posting. Looking ahead, the next phase will focus on community reintegration of offenders. Meke says this will involve intensive awareness program targeting families, schools, and religious leaders to foster acceptance and support for inmates once they are released.
Milestone is training of 2,000 prison officers. This is a great achievement indeed. And the beauty about it is that the training curriculum at the prison training school now has factored in restorative justice and peace building as a module. So recruits right at the training school are able to appreciate restorative and peace building lessons. And this is helping a lot because as they move to stations, they now understand the concept and are able to apply what they have learned whilst at the training school.
The approach aims to rebuild trust between offenders, victims, and communities while reducing reoffending by ensuring that they discharge inmates and are welcomed into supportive environment. Mege stressed that this model creates a win-win situation, rehabilitates inmates, return to society with dignity, while communities benefit from restored relationship and enhance social cohesion.
The 2025 TNM Super League season has been marked by growing concerns over incidents of supporter violence in football stadiums. This unrest has been linked to frustrations over team performance, controversial refereeing decisions, and in some cases, superstitious beliefs. Some fans have undermined the spirit of the game by showing hostility toward match officials. In moments of poor team performance, they have resorted to aggressive acts such as blocking team buses from leaving stadiums and demanding the dismissal of coaches. There also have been troubling cases of individuals invading the pitch to carry out questionable practices intended to influence match results. In this week's exclusive report, Patrick Pupa delves deeper into these issues, examining the penalties and fines imposed by the Super League of Malawi Solom in an effort to curb the behavior.
The disciplinary committee of the Super League of Malawi has been actively imposing penalties on teams that fail to adhere to the rules of football in the country. Since the beginning of TNM Super League 2025 season, 30 teams have already faced fines for rule violations, which had the Dynamos FC, Silver Strikers FC, and FCB Nyasa Big Bullets. In the first round of the TNM Super League, the Dynamos was penalized after some of their supporters were found guilty of inappropriate touching a supporter from Mzuzu City Hammers, mistakenly believing he had a juju on him. As a result, the Dynamos was found guilty and fined 4.5 million kwacha for failing to control their supporters' actions, which brought the league into disrupt. Silver Strikers FC was also fined 1.7 million kwacha for similar allegations involving suspicious of juju. Stone Mamadi, a chief supporter of FCB Nyasa Big Bullets, has urged their supporters to refrain from violence as such behavior tarnishes the team's image. FCB Nyasa Big Bullets was fined 4.5 million kwacha after one of its supporters stole a face towel belonging to a player, Joshua Waka, during a match against Blue Eagles FC, which FCB Nyasa Big Bullets lost.
Violence and aggression have no place in the support of FCB Nyasa Big Bullets. As a passionate fan, we must remember that our love for the team should be a source of unity and pride, not divisions and disgrace. The recent actions of a few individuals do not represent the true spirit of our community or the value we stand for.
Christopher Njeula, a sports analyst in the country, has called on the Super League of Malawi Solom to impose stringent penalties on individuals and clubs that promote hooliganism within football stadiums.
Most of the fines that actually are given to people that are actually caught doing vandalism or hooliganism or any kind of act of violence in a game of football, they are actually spelled out in constitutions. So for me, moving forward, maybe those that are actually administrating our game should review through their constitutions the fines that are actually that were actually put or that were spelled before, so that they are actually revised and they are hiked, so that teams should actually fill the pitch. Fans involved in hooliganism should fill the pitch, so that they shouldn't actually repeat or be involved in such acts of violence.
During the ongoing international break in the Tenema Super League, Solom is expected to address further charges. Notably, FCB Nyasa Big Bullets supporters vandalized the team's bus after a disappointing draw with the Kalonga United, where they failed to secure a win. Following this incident, police have arrested 2 supporters and an investigation is underway. The disciplinary committee for Super League of Malawi is expected to take action based on these findings. Njeula has also urged the teams to refrain from hooliganism.
In the first place, hooliganism is unacceptable in the game of football, because basically when we are talking about football, we are talking about an entertainment aspect. So when there are elements of violence, elements of hooliganism, it means we are defeating the very same purpose that we have actually enacted our game into. Moving forward, eradicating hooliganism or violence in the field of play is multifaceted, because it involves a lot of stakeholders. Moving forward, it is important that all stakeholders involved in football, we are talking of referees, we are talking of the fans, we are talking of team administrators, to come up with the strictest measures to make sure that when someone or a group of people are caught maybe doing hooliganism or violence acts, they should be punished heavily to deter others that might actually get involved in a similar misconduct.
Recently, Chitiba United was also implicated in similar misconduct, and they await the charges from Super League of Malawi concerning the matter. Super League of Malawi officials were not present to comment on the matter, as why 2025 season has been implicated with this behavior. As of now, in the 2025 season, Mighty Wanderers FC remains unbeaten and is in second place, while FCB Nyasa Big Bullets leads the table of the Tenema Super League with 40 points.
That also marks the end of what we had for you in this edition of our news bulletin. But before we go, here's a reminder of the headlines. Pope Leo XIV discusses Gaza and two-state solution with the Israeli president. Malawi National Examinations Board MANEB records improved pass rate in 2025 Malawi School Certificate of Education exams. Internal dispute erupts as some Oja Zake Alibe Mlandu Ozam party members shift allegiance to Jaguara. And in this week's special report, Patrick Pupa explores the recent surge in support of violence at football stadiums, highlighting the penalties and fines issued by the Super League of Malawi in a bid to curb such conduct. My name is Tandi Wimzumara. Thank you for keeping me company, and do continue following the rest of our programs right here on Luntha TV. Do remember that you can also follow us on social media. We are on Facebook at Luntha Television and on YouTube at Luntha TV Official. Goodbye for now. Just stay safe and have a lovely, lovely weekend.
Mwaswera Grace.
Ndaswera kai maive.
Mwagula mabuku kodi?
Ayi ndabwereka ku library.
Kodi yako open secondary school so mmatha kugwiritsa ntchito library ya school?
Ndi